It was only a few years ago that the topic of alcoholism was virtually taboo in polite conversation. Although its ravages upon physical, mental, and moral fiber were well known, virtually nothing was said about it at the public level. Even the suffering alcoholic was convinced that he lacked courage and strength of character. The stigma that had been attached to the disease through the ages was perhaps largely responsible for the fact that the only campaign directed against it was waged by well-intentioned but inept reformers. With the advent of Alcoholics Anonymous, the first light was thrown on a subject that had been left in deplorable darkness. A mere handful of courageous victims, aided by a few medical men and clergymen, discovered that any effective treatment of a disease which was threefold in nature would have to be threefold in action, providing physical, mental, and spiritual help simultaneously. Although Alcoholics Anonymous does not publicize the names of its members, it has had its astonishing growth largely because, from the beginning, men and women who found sobriety through its program were selfless and humble in passing the word along to those who still suffered from alcoholism. Father John Doe's story has been an inspiration to thousands, not only because he was the first Catholic priest to join AA, but because he has the gift of pinpointing the emotions and frustrations of the alcoholic and other victims, regardless of age, sex, or background, and to help them recognize the symptoms of the disease in themselves. While there is nothing more tragic than the disintegration of the human being, there is no message that carries more hope than the story of human rehabilitation. Thus it is that whenever a member of Alcoholics Anonymous speaks at an AA meeting, it is practically a universal custom that he first identify himself as an alcoholic. In doing this, he usually retells certain incidents of his past living which indicate that he is an alcoholic. Contrary to common opinion, this is in no way a public confession. It is done for four very definite reasons which experience has taught to be of great value in the maintaining of sobriety in the alcoholic. The first reason is so the listeners may know that the speaker is an alcoholic and therefore qualified to speak at an AA meeting. Hence, the qualification may be as short as simply saying, "I am an alcoholic," or it may be as detailed as the individual himself may choose. The second reason is to offer an opportunity for the alcoholic to achieve a sense of humor towards his past drinking escapades. Fulton Oursler, the well-known writer and newspaper columnist, although he himself was not an alcoholic, points out why this is so in the following words, quote, "The alcoholic must have a sense of humor. It is only thus that he will be able to reach that godlike state wherein he can laugh at himself, which is the very height of self-conquest. Go to meetings and listen to their laughter. At what are they laughing? At the horrible memories over which weaker souls would cringe in useless remorse." Unquote. The third reason is to help some in the audience who may be looking for the exact pattern that the speaker has to solve their own problems, and to encourage particularly the newcomers in their striving for sobriety. The final reason, which is perhaps the most important, is to help himself. Particularly is it necessary in the repeating of one story to deepen ever more and more the conviction which he dare not ever lose, namely, that he is and will always remain an alcoholic. The following is the qualification of Father John Doe. It has been given to AA groups throughout the United States and Canada. We have knowledge of thousands of individuals who have been greatly helped by hearing this story. Their letters of appreciation and their comments are too numerous to mention. We now bring to you on record this same story with the fond hope that many, many thousands more may be helped in their struggle to obtain and maintain sobriety and to understand alcoholism and the alcoholic. We give you Father John Doe, alcoholic.